Alright, so I figure I'm going to feed my fish some cabbage loopers, like I've been doing most of the summer. So I leave these cabbages so I can get these nice big fat loopers, and I try not to pick them small, though I do pick some of these small for the smaller fish, and I usually let them fatten up like that. But the small fish want to eat too, so we can get some of the smaller ones, and we pick the nice fat ones, because like these right here, those got some good nutrients in them. Nice big fat meal. I dropped one. He's slimy almost. I'm gonna have to go down there and fish him out. But yeah, as you can see, I got some loopers, and I seen one down here somewhere. Man, these things are so hard to identify. What I've noticed is if you look at them and you look away, they disappear on you. As soon as you see them, you got to pick them. Here's one. Alright, so let's see if we can do this for you. I'm gonna zoom in. I don't want to scare them. But we're gonna try to attempt to throw them some loopers. You can see there's my goldfish right there. Right over there. And even the rosies are getting in on the action. That's why I picked the small ones for the rosies, so you can eat them too. I mean, you can see they got quite large. See, now the frog. See, the frog wants to get in on the action. Watch this. What he does is he goes in there and he starts bumping all the fish out of the way. Watch what he does. If he does it, I don't know. He's slow. But I really want to feed the fish, not the frogs. Because frogs could pretty much crawl out on land and get whatever they want to eat. Whereas the fish is really important so they can store all that energy up for the winter, because they're going to be under a solid 3-foot block of ice all winter. And they really need to eat now and store that energy. But the little frog down here, yeah, him right there, he goes in there, and what he does is he bumps the fish with his nose. He chases them away from when I feed him. And he's a little greedy little one, a little greedy. But the fish are smartening up because they know that, and they go right to it. Before, the fish would kind of swim around a worm, and they just kind of... Now, as soon as I throw them in, they eat them right up. They don't even waste any time. Yeah, but they're looking quite healthy. They got quite large, and they look great. You know, fantastic. I just hope they make this winter. I got a feeling we got a cold winter coming in, so may or may not make it. And look at this. Look at this little guy. What a creepy looker. Just hanging out under the rock. That's his little home in there. You don't know it, but there's frogs all over this pond, guys. There's literally frogs everywhere. Let me see if I can get you one more lupa. I've already picked a bunch. I should have filmed you me picking them off. But I picked a bunch off. And yeah, this is the first year I actually let this happen. You can see that the brassica has basically been stripped down to the bare stem, which is fine. The plant will live just as healthily throughout the winter. And here's a looper. Kind of hard to do this with one hand, because you really got to get these guys with two hands. You got to hold a leaf and pick a looper. But yeah, I've been leaving these. I could have ripped them out, but I left them because I want the loopers to go to, multiply on here and produce plenty of food for my fish for the winter, because these are very, very good for your fish to eat. Obviously, I don't know if this is collards or Brussels sprouts or kale. I really don't know what it is, because they throw out a lot of my seeds in this corner. It could be anything. It could be anything. But I let it grow so the loopers can multiply on it, and then they produce these the looper, what are they called? The looper butterfly or something, that white butterfly. Well, they come out here and they lay tons of eggs, tons. I sometimes feed my fish, 20, 30 of these a day off of these cabbage plants, which is fine. And I try not to pick them small. I let them really get fattened up, and then I throw nice thick fat ones in there for my fish, and they're absolutely loving it. And my fish are getting quite large from this. They grew a lot. They weren't that big. This year, when they came up this year, they were half that size, if not a third of what you see the size in there now. So they really fattened up and got big because they're eating these. So that means they're getting, the nutrition and everything they need from these cabbage loopers. But I'm going to be doing this next year. I am going to plant a number of these cabbages, probably along the edges of this thing, and let them fill up with loopers. And then I'm going to harvest the loopers and feed them to my fish and the frogs. The frogs eat them too, except the frogs get a little greedy. They want all the loopers for themselves, so I have to kind of beat the frogs to it so my fish eat loopers, I don't want my frogs. The frogs could eat anything, and they do, believe me. I feed them those large tomato, what do you call them? The tomato worm, those hornworms. I feed them those things. I mean, those things will eat one of those large tomato worms. They'll sit with that thing hanging halfway out of their mouths for like 10 minutes, half hour, so they can, slowly digest it as it's hanging out of their mouth, I mean, they're hogs, those things. So I don't really go out of my way to feed them, though I do if there's plenty of enough insects around for me to go and harvest and feed it. We get like the gypsy moths around here, and those gypsy moths can, reproduce by the millions. And so when it's gypsy moth season, I throw tons of gypsy moths in there. The fish eat it, the frogs eat it. I mean, I'm feeding them gypsy moth by the pound. Just about by the day, maybe by the week, by the pound. But I mean, I fill up cupfuls of those things, and they eat them. The frogs eat them up. They all eat them. So it's good. It's a good food resource for the habitat around here. And yeah, I know I'm intervening and I'm helping it along, but somebody's got to do it. If you don't physically do it, those caterpillars ain't going to crawl out of their, nest or what they're, the leaves they're eating on your trees and crawl right over to your pond so they can be eaten. You have to kind of help it along a little there. So that's what I do. But my main thing here is to feed the goldfish and get them ready for winter, make them nice and thick and healthy. And this is what I feed them, bugs. A little hard to see here. It's hard to get. Watch. See, he's full. See, they're nice and full. When they're full like that, they don't really go after it crazily. Here comes the frog. Yeah, he didn't lose it yet. You can see my fish are full because I fed them, a lot of these loopers this morning. And they're not even eating anymore. They are done. Oh, they took that one down. I don't know if I caught it. Here goes the Rosie. See, the frogs are jumping around trying to scare the fish away so he can get it. Watch. Look what they do. They're jumping around there, all trying to get to that little worm. Even the big one's getting in on the action. Come on. There we go. Eat that worm. Atta boy. Alright, so just figured I'd share that with you. It's a nice sunny day.